Bishop James Hannington was killed on 29 October 1885 with 48 of his servants at Chando, Bunya County in present-day Mayuge district by Chief Luba, a subordinate of Kabaka Mwanga of Uganda Kingdom. Only two of his porters, Ochola and Osole, survived. The duo later returned to the murder scene and picked up Hannington's body. Their plan was to take his remains back to Mumias in Kenya, where he came from. The two attempted to preserve the body using smoke and to make it easier to carry.
Can you imagine smoking a dead body?
You can imagine those days they used to walk on foot and carrying the remains of the matter. It was not easy.
They traveled with it from this place to Busia and crossed to Mumias in Kenya through River Sio. The porters made several stopovers which have become historical sites that the Anglican Church of Uganda is eager to preserve. Bishop Hannington Bible College, where lay leaders are being trained, was established in Budimo Village, Budimo Town Council, Busia district, because the Shamaredi Road, which Ochola and Osore used while carrying Hannington's body to Budimo, goes through the college's land.
The eastern side, we see him as the first matter. And this is the route he used when he passed here. He said that I buy this route with my blood, and many people will travel on it. So that one makes us to remember him. So when they stopped here, we saw it that it's good to put there a memorial thing to remember the late Bishop Hannington.
They also made a stopover at the home of a man called Runyolo, a witch in Budimo Village. There are plans to build a church at this point. The foundation is complete, though covered in bush.
A foundation stone in the memory of Bishop Hannington in this area. By the church, the foundation of the church itself is there, you can see it.
Ochola and Osore encountered more hindrances as they sought to take a 3-day rest in Budimo Village in Busia district before crossing River Sio into Kenya. The culture of Budimo people at the time could not allow a foreigner's body in their fortress. They were, however, allowed to stay outside the fortress and given food and water. To protect Hannington's body from wild animals, they decided to store it in a sausage tree, locally known as omtavi, and made a bonfire below it at night. This tree is still standing.
It's now an old tree which might be dating to over 100 years. It's like 300 years. Because when Bishop Hannington was being murdered, that was already 1885. So it's almost 300 years. The remains, actually, they arrived with them when they thought of leaving them down. And already these were forests those days. The hyenas, the lions, the jackals, they felt no.
Several men of God have visited the site of the tree. They include Pope Francis and Bishop George Leonard Carey, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, who visited on 15th May 1998. He laid a memorial stone which has since collapsed.
And actually there was a plate on it. Those words which I mentioned, the prophetic words which were used by Bishop Hannington when he was being murdered at Bunya, they had inscribed on them, "With my blood I have purchased this route. Many will travel it without hindrance."
There are plans by the Church of Uganda to develop this place into a center for pilgrims.
Yes.
After they had rested for 3 days, the two men embarked on their journey and walked less than 500 meters from this point to River Sio before crossing to Mumias in Kenya. However, in 1890, when Bishop Alfred Tucker was appointed the new Bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa, he embarked on tracing Hannington's remains, which he found at Mumias in 1892. He recommended that they be exhumed and brought to Namirembe, which was done on 31st December 1892 and were buried here. There are plans to re-exhume Hannington's remains and have them reburied in Chando where he was murdered, and also have him declared a martyr. Patrick Ssenyondo, NTV.